So it's been a pretty big week for rumours about Apple's first foldable iPhone, and I'm not talking about the usual vague whispers we tend to get months before launch. Over the past few days alone, we've had multiple reports from pretty credible sources, including Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, which means we're starting to get a much clearer picture of what Apple's first foldable iPhone might actually look like when it arrives. Before we get into all this, quick favour, around 90% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed, which is honestly kinda wild considering how much time we spend digging through leaks, rumours and supply chain reports, so you don't have to. So if you enjoy these kind of deep dives into Apple's upcoming products, hit subscribe and tap the hype button. Right, foldable iPhone, or as the internet calls it, the iPhone Folds, or as Mark Gurman calls it, the iPhone Ultra. Now, if you've been following the foldable phone space over the last few years, you'll know that Apple has taken its sweet time getting involved. Samsung has been making foldables for ages now, Google has the Pixel Folds, and even brands like OnePlus and Oppo have been experimenting with the form factor. Meanwhile, Apple's just been sitting there watching, which honestly is something Apple often does. They tend to let everyone else experiment first, see what works, see what breaks, and then come in later with their own take on the idea. And the biggest issue Apple has supposedly been trying to solve this entire time is the display crease. If you've ever seen a foldable phone in person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When the screen folds in the middle, you usually end up with a visible crease running down the center of the display. Some companies have reduced it over the years, but completely eliminating it has been incredibly difficult. So when early rumors started claiming Apple had basically solved the crease problem entirely, people understandably were very excited. Reports suggested Apple was using a brand new display panel from Samsung that would virtually be crease-free, and some leaks even went as far to say there would be no crease at all, which sounded amazing, maybe a little too amazing. Because according to the latest report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, things aren't quite that perfect. Apparently Apple's new display technology does reduce the crease compared to other foldables, but it doesn't eliminate it completely. Gurman describes the result as not perfect, which basically means the crease is still going to be there, it just won't be as noticeable. And I guess that is more realistic. Even Samsung hasn't fully got rid of the crease on their foldables, so expecting Apple to magically make it disappear entirely on the first generation was probably setting expectations a bit too high. Though you might remember at CES, Samsung did show off a crease-free display that I thought would come to the iPhone Folds, but maybe that technology isn't ready for mass production yet. Still, if Apple can make the crease less visible than what we currently see on other foldables, that alone would be a massive leap forwards. Now, another interesting detail we learned this week has to do with the cameras on the device. Earlier rumors suggested the outer display, which is expected to measure around 5.5 inches, would use a hole punch cutout for the front-facing camera. But since there's no Face ID, would there still be a pill-shaped cutout like the Dynamic Island? Well, according to Gurman, even though the physical cutout is just a small hole, the software apparently will use a Dynamic Island style interface around it, so visually it may still behave very similar to current iPhones when you get alerts, timers, music controls, and live activities, which I'm not surprised about because Apple still wants this to visually look like an iPhone. Now let's move to the inner display because this is where things get a bit more interesting. The inside screen is expected to measure around 7.8 inches when unfolded, which is basically the size of an iPad mini, and earlier rumors suggested Apple wanted this display to be completely uninterrupted, meaning no notch, no hole punch, nothing. The plan reportedly was to use under-display camera technology, and if you're not familiar with that, it basically hides the camera underneath the screen so you can't see it at all. That sounds futuristic, but it also comes with a pretty big drawback: image quality. And according to the newest reports, Apple apparently tested this technology but ultimately decided the camera quality just wasn't good enough. So the company has now scrapped the under-display camera idea and is instead going to use a hole punch camera on the inner display as well, which means this won't actually be the first completely uninterrupted iPhone display after all. But honestly, that's probably the right move. Apple tends to prioritize camera quality over flashy tech demos, and under-display cameras still struggle to match the quality of traditional ones, so unless there's a major breakthrough, it makes sense Apple would rather keep the camera visible than ship something that takes worse selfies. Now, another question people have been asking for a while is what operating system this device will actually run. Because when the phone is closed, it of course behaves like a normal iPhone, but when you unfold it and suddenly have a screen that's almost iPad mini sized, things get a bit complicated. Would Apple switch the interface to iPadOS? Would it run two different operating systems depending on how you're using it? Well, this week, Gurman finally clarified how Apple's planning to handle that. This iPhone Fold is going to run iOS, not iPadOS, but when the device is unfolded, the interface will adapt to take advantage of the bigger display. That means you'll be able to run two apps side by side, similar to multitasking on the iPads, and many apps will apparently include sidebars on the left side of the screen to make better use of the extra real estate. Developers will also be given tools to optimize their apps for this new layout. However, it won't support the full range of multitasking features available on iPadOS, and it won't run existing iPad-specific apps either. Apple probably wants this device to feel like an iPhone first and a mini tablet second, rather than trying to merge the two platforms completely. And finally, we've also learned a bit more about the internal specs. According to reports from Korea, Apple's foldable iPhone is going to feature 12 gigs of RAM. Samsung's apparently set to begin shipping the DRAM for both the iPhone Fold and iPhone 18 Pro in the second quarter of the year, which lines up with Apple's usual production schedule ahead of a September launch. Now, you may be aware global memory supply has been tightening because so many companies are buying huge amounts of DRAM for AI servers, so even Apple, with all their purchasing power reportedly, is paying double what they used to for this memory. Ouch. Now, when it comes to storage, the iPhone Fold is expected to start at 256 gigs, with options for 512 and 1TB, and if the leaks are accurate, the top 1TB model could end up being close to $3,000. For context, that's approaching the price of two fully loaded 1TB iPhone 17 Pro models. But at the same time, foldables have always been expensive, and Apple's first attempt was never going to be cheap. You're paying for a brand new form factor, cutting-edge display technology, and a device that's essentially trying to function both as a phone and a tablet at the same time. So realistically, this isn't going to be the iPhone most people buy. This is going to be Apple's Halo product, the type of device that shows off what the company is capable of doing, even if the majority of people stick with the regular iPhones. And that's probably the smartest way for Apple to enter the foldable market. Start with a premium device, target enthusiasts and early adopters, refine the technology over a few generations, and then eventually bring the price down once the manufacturing process improves. Because if there's one thing Apple tends to do well, it's iteration. The first version of something's rarely perfect, but each generation usually gets significantly better. So if the iPhone Fold really does launch this September, it's going to be fascinating to see how Apple approaches the foldable space, and whether they can convince people that a foldable iPhone is worth the price of, well, a small holiday. And you already know I'll be covering every single update along the way. So if you want to stay updated with all the latest Apple rumors and breakdowns, make sure you subscribe and hit the hype button as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.